this work? Tell me.
Where's the body?
Down the steps, follow your nose.
Have you experienced any more extreme reactions? I hear you're all under a lot of pressure.
Today we are reviewing the 2017 psychological horror CHARISMATA. To give you some background before the plot synopsis, this one was written and directed by Andy Collier and Tur Mayan and stars Sarah Beck Mather, Jamie Satterthwaite, Adonis Anthony and Johnny Vivace. So this movie mainly follows the lead female character, Rebecca Faraway. She's a police detective and she has a rather sexist, misogynistic male partner. Also, the other men that she works with within the force are very similar. It doesn't paint the best viewpoint of the men she works with. She also has an ex-partner who is very bitter that she's dealing with a lot of rubbish with. But her and her partner are following a series of rather brutal, grisly, ritualistic murders. They're trying to get to the bottom of what's happened. And we follow this and the investigation, and a lot of emphasis is placed on Rebecca's mental well-being, on psychological issues that she's experiencing. She's obviously got the problem with her male colleagues and having to tolerate that. She's trying to sell her house. The agents are doing her over. Her ex is constantly on the phone complaining. She's just having a bit of a rough time. She also gets a very rough time from her male colleagues for obviously her role as a detective. She has difficulty keeping her foot down when there is a rather grotesque murder scene, and she gets quite a lot of flack for this. As the movie progresses, she has problems with prescription medication and obtaining that. I don't want to give too much detail, but as the movie progresses, she begins to hallucinate, she begins to experience illusions, and as a viewer, we're sort of trying to work out, is this real? Is this happening? Is this an illusion? Is it a dream? So what exactly are we seeing here? Are we experiencing these things for real with Rebecca, or are we being allowed to see her subconscious or her dreams? And that is sort of answered as the movie goes on, but you're sort of beginning to wonder as you go through what's going on, what you're seeing. In the position, Rebecca, due to these psychological issues, is asked to take a bit of a back seat by her colleagues, but due to everything that's been kicking off in her own mind, she decides that she wants to dig a little deeper into this case on her own. And this is what the film follows mainly. It follows her investigations, and I feel that there was much more emphasis on her psyche, her psychological experiences, hallucinations, her personal experience seemed to me to be the main focus of the movie. Obviously we have the ritualistic murders that are solved in the movie, but that's just a part of things. It's not the main scope of the film. So what did I think? I thought the lead performance was absolutely outstanding. I think this lady needs to be in an awful lot more movies. I thought her acting was just stellar. There was a couple of characters that I felt the acting was a little bit stilted, a little bit woody. But for the most part, most of the performances were pretty believable. This is a British movie. I will say it did have a bit of a feel of a TV movie. It reminded me a lot of watching things like The Bill. So it didn't have that whole Hollywood kind of movie experience. It just didn't feel like it felt more like a TV show. It felt more like, and that's not me being, that's not a bad thing necessarily, because there are some excellent TV series out there, but that's the feel it had for me. It did take quite a sort of leap into things like surrealism. Anybody that's a fan of Argento will know sort of the thing that I'm talking about. I personally am not a fan of this kind of thing. That is just a personal thing. You may enjoy that, but for me, I don't like being taken out of a story into that surrealistic hallucination type world that we get. There is a bit of that going on in here. I will say the effects are very good in this. There isn't a lot of gory effects. We do have several bodies, obviously, that we see. None of these are particularly gory. So if you're watching this as a gore hound wanting to see some gore, that's not going to tick that box for you. But the effects that we do see are well done. That is until the end. I'm not going to spoil anything about the ending for you, but I will say the ending let this movie down for me. We are introduced for the first time, I think, at the end to some really dodgy CGI. People will know my feelings on CGI. Unless it's incredible, don't do it. And in this case it wasn't incredible. They seem to be doing a pretty good job with the effects up to that point, using practical effects. Although they were limited and they weren't really, you know, they weren't OTT, they were believable. There was no need for the CGI that was introduced. The ending just seemed a bit... It just seemed a bit left field to me, and it wasn't what I was expecting. Maybe other people would actually enjoy this side of things. For me, it just wasn't what I was expecting with the whole style of the movie, the feel of the movie, and everything that we had seen up to that point. But as I say, cinematography, excellent, acting, very good. I can't really fault it in that respect. There's one thing I will say, and this is probably personal from me as well, and it's the last thing I'll say before I give you my rating. As a female watching this, it did concentrate a lot on how this lady, as a police detective, and how stressful her job is, her home life, psychological problems that she has, her colleagues being very misogynistic, disregarding everything that she says. She's really struggling in the world as a woman, and that very much came across. And even in the hallucination, illusion type states that she experiences, that also sort of has her experiencing negative aspects of being a woman. Now, there is one scene in this movie, and this will probably appeal to you guys, so will probably make you want to watch this. It just seemed really misplaced to me. There's one scene in this movie, I won't say whether it is a dream or whether it's reality, but the female character gets completely naked for a sex scene where she is the main. The other person's just lay there. And I felt for a movie, I don't mind nudity, don't get me wrong, but for a movie that's really hammering home misogyny and sexism and a woman not being taken seriously, for you to ask that actress to get butt naked in a scene where it wasn't required to convey what they wanted to, just so the male viewers could get, you know what I mean, get a look at what she's got, it just seemed to me really at odds against what the film was actually trying to say. So I felt that really was misplaced. I felt really disappointed when I saw that. Some movies do have a need for it. I'm not a prude, I do not have a problem with nudity, but just let's say there was no need for any male nudity in the entire movie, and there was need for this one scene out of nowhere for her to get her kit entirely off for quite some period of time. It just wasn't fitting, it just didn't work, and it was just there for the titillation of the male viewer, no pun intended. So yeah, that's in there, that may encourage you to want to watch it more now, but for me as a woman, I just felt it was at odds with the message they were trying to convey. This woman is been put upon for being a woman, she's not been taken seriously, she has experienced misogyny and sexism in the workplace and in her personal life. Let's make her get her kid off for the guys. Didn't work for me, sorry. So, rating. It's unfortunate, her acting was so good. I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10. I'm giving it a 6 because the ending let it down in a big way, and I haven't actually taken any points off for that bit, because that's a personal viewpoint as to the message of the movie. But yeah, a 6 because it's solid, the acting's good, I liked what they were trying to do. I would have liked it been a little bit more grittier, a little bit more gorier, but that's my sort of thing. So yeah, a 6 out of 10. It's not bad. I wouldn't tell you to avoid, but I wouldn't tell you to rush out and see it, you know, the next chance you get. I would say if it comes available for you, check it out, you might well enjoy it. So that's it from me. Let me know in the comments if you have seen it, if it sounds like something you would enjoy, and I look forward to speaking to you next time.